Welcome to our podcast and videocast with Eagle women's basketball coach Wendy Schuller. It's brought to you by Cheney Federal Credit Union, serving their members' financial needs since 1951. Coach, let's go back to Texas. Actually, let's go back to the first two games of the year because they had two very solid wins, one over Wichita State, a team that's predicted to win the Missouri Valley Basketball Conference for the third consecutive year. So two very good games to start the year.
Yeah, the Wichita game was obviously something that we were pleased about, the outcome. I thought that we played as hard as we could play. We defended the way we asked the team to defend. I thought that we took them out of their comfort zone a little bit, and kind of one of those things where you get it rolling and it just snowballs. And for us, it was a great night because it snowballed in the right direction. Wichita's a really good basketball team, and last weekend they beat Ohio State by 15, and they've beaten some good ball clubs. So that's a very quality win for us for sure. And then we were able to go to Utah Valley and didn't play great, but won a road game and took care of business in our very first game of the year. So we were off to a good start, that's for sure.
Then you went to Texas, a tough trip. You played SMU, kind of got off on the wrong foot there, and then a trip to Abilene, and it's kind of sounded a little bit like a Big Sky Conference trip where you fly someplace and then you drive someplace and then you hop on the back of a burro and you pack in the rest of the way.
That's exactly right. It was a slow burro too. SMU, there were a lot of factors involved in that game. We had some health issues with a couple players and just were not ourselves, and especially that first 10 minutes we came out and looked like, I don't know, it looked like everybody had drank about 10 cups of coffee before the game and we're just all over the place. We couldn't catch a ball, and it just wasn't good. And when we finally settled in the second half and kind of, said, hey, let's get this going the right direction, we were fine, but we had just dug ourselves such a deep hole we weren't getting out of it. And then traveling to Abilene, I just wasn't pleased with our performance in Abilene. I think that whenever we step on the floor, I feel like our team plays hard, but we did not play well against Abilene. There were just things that we have to be better defending in transition. We've got to be better on the glass, and against Abilene Christian, we just didn't do any of those things. And it was very much like a Big Sky road trip, and that was by design. And hopefully we learned some lessons about ourselves and how we need to travel, and maybe as a coaching staff we'll make some adjustments so we're better on the road.
Talk about the trip home, because it was a long day for you on Tuesday last week.
You got to remind me of that. It was just a long travel day. Our flight was delayed, so then we missed our flight to Spokane and ended up having to go through Seattle. And I described it as I felt like John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It was a little bit of everything. So it was a long day, and we actually took a couple days off just to kind of recover from that trip and get ourselves back going again. And I thought that it probably affected us a little bit last night even in our game, just conditioning-wise. We didn't look like we've looked, and that's my fault for, we took days off and tried to kind of get our bodies back, and we've just had a lot of kids that have been sick with viruses and things. And so if we can get ourselves healthy and in great shape again, then I think we'll be fine.
Talk a little bit about that game against Central. You guys got the win yesterday on Sunday, and so you get back on the winning track. You go to 3-2 on the season, but what did you do well in that game?
I thought that offensively we shot the ball well. We took good shots, and we moved the ball, and especially in the second half, in transition we were able to get some good shots, and I thought just defensively as well, in second half we picked up our pressure a little bit and tried to make them do what we wanted rather than let them do what they wanted, and I thought that was kind of key for us pulling away.
The first couple or 3 weeks of the season is kind of a whirlwind for you because you've got a lot of games, you've got Thanksgiving, you've got a little bit of travel, not a lot of practice time. But coming up here over the next 3 weeks, once you get the specialty finals cleared out, you've got some home games, you've got a little bit more practice time set up, don't you?
We do. That's a great point, and we're looking forward to being able to hone some things, get better at what we do, and then maybe add a little bit of stuff, especially before we get to conference play at the end of the month. And so, we've got some tough opponents in front of us, and we've got to be really prepared for those guys. But more than anything, we got to do what we do well, and practice is where you get better at it.
All right, before we talk about a big game on Wednesday, a big milestone last night, Lexi Nelson went over the 1,000 career scoring mark at Easton, over 1,000 points in her Eagle career. Outstanding honor for her.
Yeah, Lexi is a player that has earned everything that she ever gets. As an individual, she spends a lot of time honing her craft. She works extremely hard every single day in practice. I've just never, ever seen her take a drill off, or even if we're just shooting, she's going as hard as she can go. And so it was well-deserved for her. I thought you were going to talk about Coach Hayford's milestone, with 300 wins. I don't know if I'm going to make it that long to get there. So that's quite an honor for him, too. That's pretty neat.
Let's talk Gonzaga now. Wednesday night, Reese Court, 6:05 for the game there. This is a team that lost a couple of times over the weekend, but they're a team that has a win over Dayton, which was in the top 25, and so it's another quality team that Gonzaga's put out. They've changed coaches, but they still have a good squad.
They are, Lisa was with Kelly long enough that she's just kind of turned into an extension of him, I think, and she's obviously put her own touch on some things and how she wants to do things offensively and defensively. But in a lot of ways, they are who they are, and they're still long as could possibly be, and they've got shooters and they've got post play that's really good, and they're going to give you problems with their length. They really make it hard on you offensively, and they rebound well. So. We expect a handful tomorrow night, Wednesday night with them in our gym. I think there's some things that we can do well against them, and it's an honor to be able to get an opportunity, just like we did with Wichita State, to get an opportunity to have a team that's a top 40 basketball team on our floor, and we're going to make the most of it.
Is the size and the length they have, is that the most concerning thing for you going into this game?
It is. I just think that you look at how many, 6'1", 6'2", and up players they have on their basketball team, and it's just crazy. I'll kind of want to ask her, hey, you want to trade a couple guards for a couple bigs? But no, I mean they've always had those big long kids, and that's just kind of been Kelly's trademark, and so we'll see if Lisa continues that. Right now she's coaching the kids that were left over from that regime, but I think that we're going to see that continue with them, and it makes it hard offensively to move the ball.
You are going to have a big crowd for this ball game, maybe the biggest crowd that we've seen for an Eastern basketball game, men's or women's, in a long time. So the kids have to be looking forward to playing before a good crowd at Reese. Yeah,
we're excited about it, and I think we play well at home, and the energy that the crowd brings, and hopefully we have the band and the cheerleaders and all those things, because that just makes us play better. And the way we want to play up tempo, and we want to put pressure on people, and that's a lot easier to do in a gym with electricity in it than it is in a silent gym. And so I think that's just going to help us, and we'll feed off of that.
Yeah, school back in now, so it should be a good crowd of students on Wednesday as well. So after the ball game on Wednesday, you don't play again until the 11th or 12th of December, I think it is, the Friday of finals week, I guess, as it is. So what do you do school-wise to give kids a little time off, after the Gonzaga game, but before the game on the 12th?
Yeah, we've got finals coming up, and so we'll let our players, kind of finish up this week and do a great job in the classroom and take care of anything that they missed when we were on our long road trip. And then we'll have finals, and so we find times to practice in there, and it's kind of a chance to get back in the weight room a little bit and get a little bit of our work back, to what we gained in the fall, and then, like I said, just some individual time and time to hone some things, and then the game on the 12th is going to be a lot of fun. It's a 11 a.m. game against St. Martin's, and we're inviting local elementary kids to the game, and as well as our normal fans, and so I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we can have a great atmosphere for that too.
And finally, a pat on the back to the schedule maker, because you are a big tailgater for football, and you're home for this weekend on the 6th, and you're home for the weekend on the 13th if Eastern can get to that point. So nice job by the schedule maker to make sure that you're in town for these games.
Hey, it's I'm all Eagle, and it's not just about our team. Obviously, that's the most important thing in our world right now, but Bo knows, and I think the football team knows that we back them 100%, and we're looking forward to this Saturday and having a great tailgate atmosphere and kicking some Grizzly butt.
Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck on Wednesday against the Zags.
Yep, thank you.
You betcha. That's Wendy Schuller, women's basketball coach at Eastern, and that's our podcast brought to you by Cheney Federal Credit Union.